All right, Coach. Now that you had a little bit of time to kind of marinate on that matchup Saturday, what are a couple of things that stick out about that matchup?
Well, obviously, again, we've talked about it all 6 weeks, that our kids are very resilient. They're never out of the fight, and they just keep the next play mentality that they have is very impressive. We're looking at us and everything. I look at myself first. What can we do to come out of the gate faster? And there's a couple of things that we're looking at changing this week, maybe in throughout preparation and things like that, just to see what it is, because it doesn't really make a lot of sense to me the way that we play in the second and the third and the fourth quarter. But I'm very proud of our players and the resiliency that they continue to show. Just made too many mistakes, a couple of missed opportunities in special teams, and then a couple of critical errors in that regard, and had a couple of new guys in there due to injuries, and we still just have to be able to execute, and it end up being costly, but that at the end of the day it's a team effort, and we just got to look at what we can improve on and eliminate those mistakes. I mean, if you look at the 2 losses on the season, anytime that you give, I've always said this, that momentum plays come in special teams, and happened against Missouri, it happened against Stephen F. Austin. We'll get it fixed, and it wasn't anything schematically, that they did. We just, had some breakdowns, and just got to make sure that we get that corrected and move forward.
Taking a look at Dobbins, he had a great performance a couple weeks ago, had another great performance this past weekend, getting a lot of carries as a workhorse. Could you just really talk about his performance then?
Yeah, I think it begins with our guys up front. Offensively, Ryan's doing an unbelievable job with that, molding that group up front, because that's where it starts, into a unit. And, Jeremiah just continues to be consistent. It's just, he's the same every single day when he shows up, to prepare. I mean, he's just rock solid, and that shows up in his performance. And he's getting a rhythm for understanding, where the run lanes and creases are gonna be exposed, and he's doing a nice job just sticking his foot in the grass and getting the ball going north and south. And he's a young man. You're not going to knock him down. He has great balance, and you got to tackle him. And very proud of his development and how far he's come along. And we just got to continue to run the football. I think you saw it showing up there in the fourth quarter. We were being able to have success running the football, and we were trying to impose our will on them there in the fourth quarter, and by doing that, and it's been something I've been very pleased with, the way we're able to run the football.
A lot of people thought that, and myself included, that Kobe was likely to break the record on homecoming, and he decided to have 9 receptions this past Saturday. I mean, just another great performance to really break the record this time.
Yeah, no doubt. I think first of all, hats off to Kobe. I mean, what a great accomplishment that is. I mean, we've brought no attention whatsoever to that, other than it's a great honor for him, and it's something that we'll celebrate after the season's over, and we're very proud of him and what he's been able to do, and so happy that he chose to stay, and it's really worked out well for him. So those are great accomplishments, and you're just trying to prepare for the next opponent, so it's kind of hard to sit here and celebrate right in the middle of the season. So it's something that obviously we'll cherish after this year's over. But man, very proud of Kobe. He's probably been the absolute most steady performer from game 1 to game 6 offensively, and thought we did a nice job pushing the ball down the field. Maverick making some plays with his feet. When you do that, now it's just going to make people defend sideline to sideline. Now you got to defend vertically, and then all of a sudden you see that he has the ability to extend plays and pull it down and go run and move the chains effectively. So we continue to keep people off balance like that. We'll continue to show signs of improvement each and every week.
touch more on that, being down 21-0 and coming back and getting up there. And if you would have known, before the game it would come down to a field goal for either you or SFA. Obviously, you got to that point because you didn't know where you would be going into that game. How did you handle that loss and that disappointment going into the locker room? And Blair, I mean, he's been a clutch player coming in and winning a lot of games for ACU. What has that been like for him too?
Well, first of all, we didn't consider that as a loss, really. I mean, we were behind on the scoreboard and we ran out of time. I mean, we have great confidence in Blair as a team and as a coaching staff, and we've seen him make that into an Abilene headwind, in a scrimmage situation. So therefore, I fully expected him to make that kick, and I think he probably expected to make it himself. Just got under it maybe just a little bit and left it 3 or 4 yards short, and we worked, what we call kick six. When they put the returner back, we knew that they're going to bring it out of the end zone and try to. And, unfortunately, I mean, they call us for a penalty on, I guess for tackling someone hard. You got a 320-pound guy tackling a 160-pound guy. It's going to look like, oh, man, what just happened? So, it is what it is, and we just move on. And in the locker room, I think our kids, I think they understood that, I pointed to 3 or 4 plays in the Missouri game that could have altered the outcome of that game. I pointed out 3 or 4 plays immediately following that game that could have definitely impacted the outcome. And they understand that the difference between winning and losing is this much at any level. And I think are learning it. I think we'll take a so-called negative. I don't view that game as a negative, but we take that setback and we'll turn it into a positive, and it'll prepare us for what lies ahead of us here over the course of the next 5 weeks.
I know we've had the same quarterback topic every single week. So what did you think about Maverick this past weekend?
Well, it's kind of like what we had said there after game 5 is we just need someone to say, look, I'm going to take command of this ship and steer it in the right directions. And I think that's what you saw from Maverick this week. I think, I don't know what led to that or what, we put up over 500 yards of offense, ran 90 plays, converted 63% of our third downs, 30 first downs, again, running the football effectively. So very proud of the step that we made, and then we just, through special teams mistakes, we put our defense in some tough predicaments, and, again, digging out of a 21-0 deficit. It really, we were prepared for it. I told our players, I said, guys, I'm just going to tell you, they've basically played the equivalent of 3 FBS opponents with Jacksonville State, Sam Houston, and La Tech. So I said, the game, when you first come out, it's going to go really fast. It's going to feel fast. It's going to feel, just because of the nature of the opponent. And I've been in situations like that before, and it did. And I said, but if we'll just settle in, the game's going to come back to you. And once it did come back to us, you saw then it just went toe-to-toe, and it was obviously, I would assume from a fan perspective, a very exciting game to watch. I've never been a part of anything like the last 1 minute and 29 seconds. Just going back for like a ping pong match. And it was really, just to come down to that field goal, and then they call the penalty on us, and they kick the game-winning field goal on an untimed down. So, we just got to continue to keep the emphasis on us, and from a standpoint of doing what it takes daily, taking our vision for what we want to become and making it, putting that into daily practice and practice with a purpose, and continue to focus on the things that we can control. Because if we'd have done that in our 2 setbacks this year, it's us. It's the breakdowns on our part, and not necessarily great execution by the opponent. So if we fix that, then I think we'll set ourselves up for success.
Well, let's get off the setbacks now. Let's focus on this right here. Your 3 wins that you've had have been at home, and therefore you're undefeated at home, and you got homecoming this week. Tell me about how exciting that is, and what's the pressure like also to have been undefeated going in?
Yeah, it's always a little bit of a challenge because homecoming, players have to understand that's for fans and alumni and people coming back, and so you got to be able to, again, manage distractions and things that go along with the pageantry, but it's also a huge part of college football, and so I think it's very important for us to be able to make sure that we maintain a focus and in our preparation toward the game so that we can make our alumni and our fans proud. We set a goal at the beginning of the year that we want to go undefeated at home. This is just another step in being able to do that. You can't go 5-0 at home if you don't get to 4-0. So that's our whole focus this week, is to get to 4-0 at home. We got a quality opponent in Southern Utah coming in. They're playing really well. They're very well coached. So we got to come out of the gate. We're going to start fast and try to play that complete 60-minute football game, which we talked about all week long, and then we're going to look at just a couple of little minor tweaks and things that we're going to do just a little bit differently to try to get out of the gate faster.
I'm not sure if you had a chance to look at Southern Utah in depth yet, but what is that matchup so far like looking for you guys?
I think you just have a very well-coached team, very similar in the fact that we got, new head coaches at both programs, so you're trying to instill belief and confidence into your program, so we're kind of mirror images of one another in terms of, where we are programmatically. They were, I believe, I don't know what the situation is historically, but I know that, coming off of, a losing record and trying to build a winner, I know that Coach has a lot of the same philosophical ideas, and very impressed with them and what they do and the way they try to attack their opponents. So again, I know I sound like a broken record every week, but it really is about fixing the things that, and the breakdowns that we have, and if we'll do that, and come out and play with energy and passion and excitement and get the crowd into the game, and look forward to a great day.
And then last thing, you guys will get another crack at SFA later this year, at home this time. So what does that mean to potentially have that second chance to be able to beat SFA?
I really, at this particular point, we're really not focused on that. It just, because there's so much work to be done. We have a long way to go to get to where we want to get to as a team. We haven't scratched the surface of the football team that we can become. I think you see glimpses of it at times defensively, glimpses of it. If you just watch our kickoff cover team, the way they run down the field, it's so impressive. I mean, we could have had them 2 times inside the 20-yard line. So there's times where we do stuff, you just go, man, if we can ever put that all together, offensively, special teams, defensively, into one game, it's going to be scary. Because I really believe that we have not hit our potential in stride yet, and that's what we're looking to do here over the last 6 weeks, counting the open date of the regular season, and we'll cross that bridge against Stephen F. Austin come that week of November. But right now we're just going to focus on us and continuing to do the things that it takes.
Thanks, Coach.
Coach, just one last question for me. You're midway through the season. How is the team holding up health-wise at this point?
It's getting about that time for an open date. It's football, and it's a physical game. It's tough, and when you go fall camp and then you go 7 weeks, once we get to the end of this next week, you just got some typical things that start to show up. Overall, I expect to get some people back this week, really until I get the injury report. They'll spend all day, today in and out of the training room between classes and study hall, and then we'll have a meeting tomorrow morning and go through where we are health-wise headed into week 7. And then we'll go from there. But we're probably just like everyone else in the country right now. You got people banged up and trying to recover from injuries. But I like where we are, from that standpoint. And I've been in times where it's been a lot worse than where we are for sure. And you just have to have that next man up mentality. We have to have people that prepare, and you just, what, man goes down, you got to be able to plug somebody in and continue to work together, and we'll do that. Then we'll work through all the injuries.
Coach, where are the purple shoes? Are they all right?
The wife finally threw them.
Yeah, they are. I don't know. These are kind of comfortable. So when I put them on, I just I thought, you know what, I'm going to wear these today. And normally I don't wear the Jordans if it's raining, so I didn't know what the forecast looked like today. When I come out of the office last night, it was, it was coming down pretty good. So I thought, I'll just put my running shoes on today.
Smart move.
Yep.
Appreciate it, Coach.
Thank you.